You've been wondering why it's been so quiet, why your prayers seem to echo back unanswered, why the breakthroughs you believed for are still nowhere in sight, why the silence around you feels so loud. You've asked, "Lord, where are you?" And I've heard you. Yes, I heard you the first time. I saw every tear fall. I felt the weight in your chest when you smiled in front of others but collapsed in private. I never turned away. And now, I need you to hear me. Just because I'm silent doesn't mean I'm absent. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean I've stopped moving. I am working in silence. While you wait, I build. While you cry, I arrange. While you feel forgotten, I am orchestrating a divine turnaround you can't even imagine. I am working in silence. You see delay. I see development. You hear silence. I hear surrender. You feel abandoned, but I am closer than your next breath. I'm not ignoring you. I'm crafting something so divine, so precise, that it can only be done in the sacred stillness. So don't mistake my quiet for my absence. You don't see it yet, but you will. You don't feel it yet, but it's coming. Stay with me. Let me show you the purpose behind my silence. Because what I'm doing behind the scenes is going to change everything. Let me take you back to a moment in your life. You remember it, don't you? That season when you were doing everything right. You prayed with faith. You served with love. You believed with your whole heart. And still, nothing changed. In fact, it felt like things got worse. Doors closed. People you trusted walked away. Opportunities vanished. And you started to ask yourself, what did I do wrong? You looked around and watched others move forward. They seemed to get blessed while you stayed stuck. They celebrated while you stayed silent. And deep inside, your heart began to whisper, maybe God has forgotten me. But listen to me now, child. I never forgot you. Not even for a second. I saw you when you stayed up at night replaying every decision. I saw you checking your phone, hoping for good news that never came. I saw you lift your hands in worship even when your soul felt empty. And while you were waiting in the quiet, I was moving in ways you couldn't see. I was removing the people who couldn't walk with you into your next season. I was closing the doors that would have delayed your destiny. I was breaking things off of you, not to hurt you, but to heal you. I wasn't punishing you. I was preparing you, because what I'm building through you requires deeper roots. It requires faith that doesn't depend on feelings. It requires trust that stands, even in silence. And now you're here, not by accident, not by coincidence. You're here because even in your confusion, you kept going. You kept believing. You didn't let go. And that is why I chose you. Let's be honest, child. There were moments you almost gave up. You didn't tell anyone. You smiled through it. You kept showing up. But inside, you were breaking. You wondered, why is God silent when I need him the most? Why do I keep praying and nothing changes? Is something wrong with me? You watched others get answers. You watched them rise while you stayed in the same place, stuck, waiting, confused. In the silence, it became unbearable. You began to think maybe I was disappointed in you. Maybe I had changed my mind. Maybe you missed your moment. But hear me clearly. I did not leave you. I did not abandon you. I did not stop loving you. What you felt was not rejection. It was refinement. What you heard as silence was me working in a realm beyond your understanding. Because, child, If I answered too soon, you would have settled for less than what I destined you for. If I gave you what you asked for back then, it would have crushed you. So yes, I was silent. But not because I didn't care. I was silent because I was working on a plan that would protect you, elevate you, and bring glory through you. And even when you doubted me, even when you questioned my timing, even when you almost walked away, I stayed. I never turned my face from you. I never stopped covering you. Even in your rebellion, I was gentle. Even in your pain, I was near. You just couldn't hear me over the noise of fear, comparison, and confusion. But that doesn't mean I wasn't speaking. I was speaking in ways your heart didn't yet recognize. Through closed doors, through delays, through disappointments. I was saying, not yet. Trust me. I'm working in silence. Then came the shift. Not loud, not dramatic, but quiet, like the first light of morning after a long night. You didn't even realize it at first. Suddenly, the weight in your chest began to lift. You couldn't explain it, but peace started visiting your heart again. Clarity returned in fragments, gentle reminders that I was still here, and you began to see what you couldn't before. You looked back and realized the job you didn't get was protection. The relationship that ended was redirection. The delay you hated was me buying time to align what's coming. Everything started connecting. Every closed door, every lonely night, every silent season. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Because while you were asking me to move mountains, I was building strength inside of you to climb them. You asked for escape, but I gave you endurance. You asked for comfort, but I gave you character. You asked for answers, but I gave you me. I became your anchor in the storm, your whisper in the silence, your rock when everything else crumbled. And now you're not the same. You're stronger, wiser, more rooted, more aware of my voice even in the stillness. The silence didn't destroy you, it shaped you. And the season you thought was the end of you was actually where I rebuilt you. Look at you now. You made it through what you thought would break you. You endured the silence, the sorrow, the sleepless nights. And yet, here you are, still standing. Not because it was easy, but because I held you, even when you didn't know I was there. You see, child, I was never inactive. I was just working beneath the surface. While you waited, I was opening doors you hadn't even knocked on. While you wept, I was planting seeds for a harvest you couldn't imagine. While you questioned my presence, I was rewriting your future. I was working in silence to make your testimony louder. And now, the shift has begun. The things that didn't make sense are aligning. The places where you felt most broken are being healed. The situations you thought were dead are coming back to life. I'm not just restoring what was lost. I'm giving you better than what you prayed for. The delay was not denial. The silence was not absence. The waiting was not wasted. You were being hidden for a reason, protected for a season, prepared for your purpose. And now, you're stepping into a place you were always meant for. This is the season where you will say, "Now I understand why it had to happen that way. Now I see what you were doing behind the scenes, Lord. Now I know you were working in silence, but you never stopped loving me. Now you understand." The silence wasn't punishment. It was invitation. An invitation to go deeper. Deeper into trust. Deeper into faith. Deeper into knowing me. Because, child, If you only trust me when you hear me. That's not trust, it's comfort. But when you trust me in the dark, when you keep walking even when there's no sound, no sign, no spotlight, that's when your faith becomes unshakable. And that's what I was building in you. You see, I wasn't just preparing a blessing for you. I was preparing you for the blessing. Because what I'm giving you now requires spiritual maturity. It requires someone who doesn't panic in the silence. Someone who doesn't abandon the promise just because the voice quiets. And now you are that person. You've learned how to wait well. You've learned how to worship without answers. You've learned how to walk with me by faith, not just by sight. And because of that, you'll never be the same. From now on, when others are in their silent season, you'll know how to speak life to them. You'll tell them, "Don't give up. I've been there. He's still working." You'll become proof of my faithfulness. So the next time the silence comes, you won't fear it. You'll recognize it. You'll remember what I did before, how I moved when no one expected, how I turned mourning into dancing, how I turned your pain into power. And you'll smile, because you'll know my Jesus is working in silence again. And that is all the reassurance you'll need. I love you. I've always loved you. Even in the silence, especially in the silence, I was holding you. I was fighting for you. I was working for you. And now, I'm about to reveal what I was building all along. Get ready. It's coming. And it's bigger than you imagined.